What's up YouTube, Liam here, back from Retics, and today we are going to be converting a cupboard, kitchen cupboard, a single door cupboard that we have here into a cage for my reticulated python. So the first step was I took off the back side. This was upright, it was standing vertically. I got it from a guy for I think 400 rand, so it's pretty cheap, and it's a decent size for a snake. I think it's 45 by 45 and that's centimeters, and then in length it's about 1.75 or 1.8 around there. So the first thing I did was take off the back side. As you can see, it was pretty dirty. So I'm going to clean this whole thing, and then after that I'm going to clean the inside here so that all the water sealant and things we're going to apply will stick, because the cage needs to be waterproof, otherwise the wood will, basically all the water will just evaporate, and snakes need humidity. And then we're going to use this Arctic Marine clear silicone sealant that I got it from Buco in Paul, and it was I think 30 rand, so it's pretty cheap. Okay, so the first step's done. I tried to clean this as best as I could. I used some newspaper to rub off the old poop stains and everything, and some sandpaper just to get rid of most of the damage that was on here. Everything. I think I will vacuum clean it, like just vacuum it. And then the dark spots is just stains from I think over the years of use. So this is about the cleanest it's going to be. So the next step will be to apply the silicone and to put this thing back at the back. Okay, so just to show you guys exactly what I mean. So this is that's my anaconda. My yellow anaconda over there. I know the cage is really dirty, that will be cleaned today. This is the back piece. You see it has some stain over there. Stains over the whole thing. And then this, I just flip the cupboard over. This is going to be the back side over here. So this thing is going to come up here. I'm going to put silicone all over here, and then this piece is going to come on top of this, which will be the back of the cage. So this is the finished, semi-finished product. Still have a lot to do, but I mean, this gives you an idea of what the cage is going to look like. Just the back. I'm just going to go put silicone on the inside again, and then leave it all dry. I put in some extra silicone there where the two wood pieces come together, just to make sure it's waterproof. So that piece is on. This whole thing's done. Luckily, as I said, it was an old cupboard, so I didn't have to put everything together. And next up is this. Now this isn't necessary for anyone, although if I do want to sell the cage somewhere along the way, this will obviously mean a lot to someone else, because a lot of people like to use substrate. I don't use substrate, I only use newspaper. It's much more cost effective, and I mean it's easy cleanable. You can fold it up and throw it away and put in newspaper. You can call me lazy if you want to, but substrate cleaning it's way too much. So basically what this is going to help, this is going to come in here, and this is going to help me use less glass, obviously, because the thing won't be as big, and the glass rail is going to come up on top of this, and then this is also going to give it a lift. So if you can see here, if the rail is on here and you put substrate in, a lot of the times, one of the cages at the back, I'll show you guys now, if the rail is here and you put substrate in, the substrate gets into the rail, and then the glass doesn't want to go, and it's just not that great. So this is going to help me. I just lift it up. So if you do put substrate in, the substrate can lie towards this, and the rails will be on here, so it will make everything easier. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a drill and make 5 holes in here, starting from each side, and 5 holes in here, and then just screw it together. This is a great example of sliding glass. You see, if the rail is over here and you want to put substrate there, then what happens, the substrate comes in here and then the rail gets dirty. Something like this one. That's why we want to lift it. So I'm going to take this, you see, I'm going to put it in here. It's going to be over there. And then it gives it a nice lift over here. So you can put this full of substrate if you want. Okay, so I'm done with the drilling. There are the holes. You can see the holes in them there. There it goes. Okay, so I decided to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 holes in there. So I'm gonna screw that piece of wood in now, and then I'll show you guys. So just to show you guys what I mean, this is all the screws that I've put in. You can see over here that they're still loose. They're in there, and then this piece of wood is gonna come into them. So I'm just quickly gonna do that. It's almost done. I put it in so long, like halfway, and now I've decided to use normal wood glue. Here in South Africa, this is our basic wood glue that we've always used at school. I'm not sure in your country what wood glue would be best, but this is the standard South African wood glue that I will be using. So what I want to do now is basically apply it here all along the way until that side, and that's just basically gonna that'll help seal it off quite nicely over there. And then we'll also put silicone on the inside and a bit of silicone in here. I don't have a lot left, so I'm gonna have to work with what I have. As you can see, that's what I meant. The wood glue is on over there. There it goes. Alright, so that's done. This is the look you get now. Okay, so next up we're gonna do the painting. I'm gonna use normal paint on the outside, and then these two are going on the inside. So firstly we're going to use a primer to seal off the whole wood, because the Duram wouldn't stick to the wood, so we're going to use a primer inside, get that coated. I'm going to put on 1 coat, that's all it needs. And then, as I said previously, this wood loves moisture, it absorbs everything, so we have to put the primer on first. As I mentioned, this is a cupboard. It's not my first choice of wood, but it was cheap. So this is the wood primer that we're going to use. I think this primer, the bottle was 100 Rand. And for the waterproofing, we're going to use this acrylic waterproofing Duram. It's well known in South Africa. People use it on the roofs, and there you can see. I think this was 170 Rand, and today it was marked off 450, and it's a 5 liter. And I chose black because I've seen previous videos of people with black cages on the inside, and I love it, and it also brings out the color in the snake a lot. Okay, so this is done. The wood primer is on, everything is sealed, there's no wood left, so the Duram will sit on this. It will stick to this, because if you put Duram straightly on wood, it the wood absorbs it and it doesn't stick, and it peels off quite easily. So this is going to help the Duram sit on it better. So this is everything. As you can see, I didn't really care how I painted. You can see there's a little blotch there and over there, but that's just because it only needs to get on the wood. It doesn't have to look pretty, because the Duram is black and it's going to go all over it. So this part you can just roughly paint it. Just make sure all the wood that's gonna have Duram on is properly covered. So this is just to give you an idea of how it's gonna look. As you can see, I'm not done yet. And I put up a fan here so that it can blow dry quicker. I put quite a thick layer on here to cover all the pink and to get it nice and even. And then that was just roughly painted. Now I'm gonna go over that now. I do think I'm gonna put thick layers everywhere on, and then maybe tomorrow give it a second coat just to make sure everything is nice and sealed off. Okay, so I put on the final layer, which would be the third layer, and now everything is pitch black. I'm just gonna wait for this to dry. Okay, so it's a new day. I let it sit overnight and it's completely dry, as you can see. Completely dry. I think I'm just gonna, you see these spots over here, I'm gonna put on one more layer, and you can see some pinks going through there and there at the back a bit. Well, that's where the silicone was. I don't think it wants to stick very well over there. So I'm gonna put on one more layer of the Durham and then let that sit. I actually forgot to film this part, but I've been busy putting in a light. So the bulb that we're going to use is just this normal LED bulb. I did test it in the shop, it's quite bright. So basically I just drilled a hole in here. It's going to go in here. That's the cable. And on the inside I got this fitting. And I'm busy putting the screws in, and then I'll test the light. I'll show you guys that. I did put it in the middle. Maybe later on we can put another one over there and there for more lighting, but for now the middle is great. So I'm quickly going to finish this off and then I'll show you. Okay, so the plug's done. If you're not sure how to connect the plug, you can ask anyone. This is pretty simple. There's two wires, one goes in here and one goes in there. That's basically how I do it. Not that difficult. And then this is where the wire comes out. I will be putting silicone in here to make sure it's waterproof, so that none of the water damp and fogginess of the cage can come out here. That's just to make sure the humidity level stays nice in here. And that's the bulb that I'm using. I'll put this in here. Okay, let's just quickly test it. That's it. That's it. So that's the whole cage. I'm not sure the lighting. Just gonna try. That's it. So this is how the cage is gonna look. I might put in another light over there and there, just to get an even distribution of the light. But this looks pretty neat for me. I'm not sure if you guys can see it great on the video, but this is pretty nice. Yeah, I'm happy. So something else I'm going to do now is just quickly drill a hole through here. This will be for the heating pad. This is basically just it's a 35 by 35 centimeter heating pad, and this is a tile that we use, and then I put that tile on top of this one to reduce the heat, and it works out perfectly. So that's great. So I'm just gonna make a small hole over there, and then this won't be in the cage at the moment. So when I'm gonna use the cage, I will basically just screw this loose, put the wires through, and screw it back together at the other side of the cage, and then that's where the wires will be connected. So that's basically all I did. Just put a small hole through there. Sometime soon I will put some holes through here, or maybe I'm gonna put a big hole and some mesh or something in front, just for some air. Before she goes in the cage, there will be some sort of airflow. Okay, it's Saturday. I got my tracks here. This one is 9mm and this one is 6mm. The 6mm will be at the bottom and the 9mm on top. If you cut your glass perfectly, you'll be able to lift the glass out, but mine wasn't cut exactly to the right length, so I'm just gonna have to screw everything in, and it's gonna be that way unless I physically wanna take out the screws and remove the whole thing again. But that won't be necessary, and the glass has been cut. I already tested it, it fits perfectly. I'm just firstly gonna clean both of these, That's just part of the rails that I had to cut off. You can buy them at Galmar. They come in sets like this for 50 Rand. I bought two, one over there is an extra, or for my next cage build. So basically everything's done. I'm just quickly gonna, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna make on each side, I think, just focus here, there. I'm gonna make a small hole over there and over there, also on that one, and on the other side, and then a small hole here and here, and also here on top. Okay, so I couldn't get my camera work done, so I wasn't able to show you the whole process. Basically I just turned it upside down. After I did the one side, I screwed 2 holes in and then 2 narrow holes there. Put it down and screwed this top side together. You can see over there. Screwed this one together, and it's still loose here. I'm gonna put in, I will get some glue that I'm gonna put in there because I don't want to screw the whole thing together. I'm afraid that it's gonna irritate the glass or maybe crack the glass. So for now this will be fine. You'll see here it doesn't do it, so that's okay. I'm gonna put in another glass now, and then I'll ask my brother to help me turn this thing around. And it's finally done. I flipped it back to the way it was, the lights there on top. Just a water bowl, some newspaper. This is a heating pad. It's just a tile with the heating pad and then another tile. And when I put some more newspaper on top, the temperature is perfect. So you can see lights closed. That side. And this is closed. There. You can see I left a big overlap over here. That's just for safety reasons. And that's done. So that's the whole view. I'll try to step back so you can see what it looks like. Okay, so it's been about 5 hours since I finished it up. The heat mat is inside, and I have another 100-watt ceramic heat lamp that's also inside at the moment. I won't be using it, but there it is. And basically this is just, I'm trying to get the enclosure exactly how it's going to be for her, just to make sure that all the chemical smell and everything's out. And at the moment it's really strong in here, the chemical smell, because of all the things that we used on the walls and everything. We're waterproofing it. If you have something better that doesn't smell as bad, please just recommend it in the comments. Just remember, I'm in South Africa, so if you're from overseas, I don't think it will help. Well, you can still comment. I can check for something related, but the chemical smell is quite strong in the cage at the moment. So basically I'm gonna keep the heating mat on and the ceramic heat lamp, and just gonna leave this open, and then basically we just want all that chemical smell, the whole chemical smell of the cage, everything to come out until the cage smells completely fine. And then I can change the take the ceramic heat lamp out and put the bulb back in, and then we can put her in the cage. I just put the fan in there, that's just to help with the circulation inside. The heat pad's on and the ceramic heat lamp's on. Today is Saturday, we started building on Wednesday. So yeah, it's a waiting game. You have to have time on your hands when you want to build a cage. It takes some time. I think if you have everything planned out and you have everything, I mean, I took 2 days just to get this and the glass and everything. So I think if you have everything right, complete, and you start working on it, you'll be able to finish the whole build in the first day. The paint is going to take 2 days, and then it will have to sit for another 2 days. So yeah, and then if you put the heat in and everything, so it's going to take about a week for the whole thing to finish. I'm sure there is quicker ways to do it. I'm not sure exactly if my waterproofing paint and everything was the right choice. I basically just used, I told you guys what I used, so that's what I did. This might be a longer process, so once again, if you have any recommendations or anything that would be faster, please leave it in the comments. But for now, it's gonna be a waiting game. Okay, so today is Tuesday. We started building the cage last week Wednesday, and it's been sitting to get rid of all that chemical smell and everything going on, and it's finally completely gone. I can still smell it a bit in the room, but it was closed, so I'm just going to keep the door open for it to get out of the room. But the cage is completely fine. It will be safe for her to go in. I'm just going to put in fresh water because that water has been sitting there for a week. I'm going to put in fresh water, and then we're going to be putting her in the cage. Okay, so this is the last day of this video. Rosalie is in here. She's my reticulated python, and today we're going to introduce her to a new cage. So I'm just going to get her out, put her in here, see what she does. There we go. Let's get her out. This is her. Just want to be gentle. There you go. That's it, she's in. So this is the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. If you are in Cape Town or in the Cape Town area and you need help building a cage, you can drop me a comment in the comment section. You can also ask any questions if you like, and as I said, this was a cupboard that I converted into a cage, so as you can see, it wasn't really difficult. So this doesn't really give anyone an excuse of not having a cage. I'm sure everyone can get someone that can help them build it if they don't want to do it on their own. And as I said, I will be able to help all of you if you do want any help building a cage. This is the cage. It's done building and she's just checking it out. I should show you guys. So yeah, she's just checking it out. She's in there, smelling around. She's on the heat pad over there, and that's her. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe to the video, and yeah, that will be all. Cheers.